This is picture I recently made of Mr. Monkey D. Luffy, and I tell you, this kid, he's got lots of heart. I especially enjoyed what he did in this chapter, so watch the review of what this other ding-dong talks about to find out more. Yeah, One Piece, chapter 138, The Summit.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as usual, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, epic, and chilly tale of One Piece. Our last chapter left us with, of course, Luffy, and Luffy is carrying Nami like he has been, but also Sanji, who has been knocked unconscious, and they've kind of gotten propelled back towards the bottom of the mountain. They've met up with Wapol and his minions, and Wapol is looking to take out the Straw Hats to kill him. So that's where things left off. That's where things pick up in this one, and this one for me is truly a tale of in my opinion, building respect for Luffy and his determination. Up until now, we've seen. We've seen his unwavering determination as far as his goal and things that he wants to set in mind. We also saw some very heartfelt, touching moments when he, just was hell-bent on freeing Nami in Arlong Park. And there were several other, instances as well. But this one, and I'll get to it, I think really, truly, for me, shined as an example and a testament to, Luffy just being this very strong-willed character that will go to the ends of the earth and back, for his friends and his crewmates. So, in this case, obviously, it's both. So, the chapter starts out with Luffy, of course, he's basically just, get out of my way, to Wapol. And Wapol's like, oh, why should I? And Luffy, your friends are more half dead than they are alive. And now he's not only got Nami on his back, but he's also dragging Sanji with him. So he just kind of keeps on walking like, screw you, man, I'm not even going to deal with you. So Wapol, being the big, pile of blowhard shit that he is, he's like, Chess, the king declares, makes a new decree, a new law. Anyone who ignores the king shall be killed. And the first two I want killed are the two that ignored me the most. The ones that, of course, are unconscious and half dead, right? Take them out. So, yes, sire. And Kuro Marimo and of course Chess, they start coming after him and using their special moves on him, arrows and this cool looking mace thing that Kuro Marimo has. But Luffy is kind of dodging it, and he's not he's dodging things, but he remembers as he's about to kind of turn and fight, he goes and has a little quick flashback of Sanji saying, remember, every blow that's dealt or taken or what have you, Nami is going to feel it, and it's going to kill her. So he remembers that and obviously learned from it, and he's thinking, okay, even though I want to take these guys out and I could trounce them, I cannot risk Nami over here anymore. So he just kind of keeps dodging them, and he just kind of keeps on moving, right? And then Wapol goes and does this, whiteout storm type maneuver, and it blows up, basically blows up a bunch of powder, a bunch of snow and whatnot, makes it like foggy, like so he can't see, like in a snowstorm would be. And Luffy's just like, he's looking around. He's like, whoa, what did they leave? Did I lose them? And all of a sudden, from the side, you just see like this giant mouth open. And at first, I thought it was the hippo that he rides, because it's giant or whatever. But then they show the next panel from the side, and it's Wapol. So apparently, his munch fruit power. I know it was a little exaggerated, some of the things that he's eaten so far, but apparently, he can really open that bad boy up because he literally just tried to swallow them, So Luffy is able to move out of the way, to dodge out of the way of that, and when it looks like all is lost and there's no hope, as this happens obviously again and again in the series, but we wind up having help from an unexpected source, and you're thinking, well, maybe Zoro is coming from the ship, and or maybe Usopp and Vivi are closer than we thought, maybe Dalton is still alive. I don't know. But we wind up getting again unexpected help from the Lapins, from the flesh-eating rabbits. All of a sudden, they go and kind of come in and they get in between them. They hold off Wapol from following Luffy, and they know. And I don't know if it's a thing where they they're kind of like, hey, we bothered this guy all the way up the mountain, and we got our asses kicked a little bit by him and his buddy there, but it was really only in self-defense, and maybe it's like they have a respect for him or something, because they see that he's trying to help his friends. whatever the case may be, hey, listen, if I was in that position, I'd take help wherever it came from. So the Lapins go in and start, helping and obviously, slowing them down and keeping a wall of them in between Luffy, who's still trying to get up the mountain. Now, the way that this mountain is it's like this for a while, but then when it gets to this part here before it goes up to the castle, I mean, it's straight up. I mean, it gets the name Drum Island. I mean, this thing looks like it's going, on a straight up, no angle, And so Luffy, and this is where you kind of see that great unwavering, undying determination, because he's walking, and he's got Nami on his back, and as he's about to go and climb up, start climbing the actual, side of the mountain, right, like a goddamn rock climber without the gear, he goes and, he tightens up the kind of the rope, the strap that's holding Nami on his back, and he's still, of course, got, he's still holding Sanji, and he starts climbing up this thing, just one after another, and that's how I picture it anyway in my mind. Now, I don't know if he's able to ascend quicker, if with that weight on him, he's still able to stretch his body out and kind of make longer grabs and strides to get up there. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because we're talking, hours and hours of climbing, as evidenced by the several pages that follow, because you go and you see the different things that are going on, and just, the snow that's in his face, and there's and the ledges, the ice and everything, and he's climbing. And then, and then all of a sudden it shows like this cool like split panel thing where it shows him in several different positions getting up higher and higher on the thing. And then it says, and I just picture like SpongeBob SquarePants, 3 hours later, and it does. It's what it says, 3 hours later. And you're like, you got to be kidding me, man. I mean, this kid has no jacket on, right? He's wearing shorts, okay, and some sandals or some flip flops, and he's climbing, up the side of a cliff, of a mountain, right? I don't know how high this thing is. I don't really care. But he's got 2 people on his back. Well, one on his back and one that he's holding, that are unconscious. And one's unconscious, one's sick and dying. And but it's that unwavering determination. And then there's one point where actually he goes and it slips and drops Sanji, right? And Sanji starts falling. He's like, "No, Sanji!" And then you see in the next panel, he just goes and stretches his neck out. He's like, stretches his neck out and grabs his clothes with his with his teeth, grabs him in his mouth, and is able to pull him back up. And he's like, "Oh, that was close," right? So this for me, and again, this is my account, my personal take on it. So, some of you may not agree with some of the things that I say. Some of you may think that some of what I say is great, it's profound, whatever the case may be. Just my opinion is that everything we've seen from Luffy up until now, this, to me, I mean, he's dying while doing this. You know what I mean? And it is just that to me, it's really, really, it's something to be commended, is what it is. Just like I said, just the sheer force of will that he has. Just to exert his will to get what he needs and what he desires, which is a doctor for Nami and clearly to save Sanji as well, who we presume is just unconscious at this point. I don't know if he has any type of major injuries, but. So he's climbing. He finally gets to the summit, to the top of this thing, and it's like he climbs over the top, and he sees this huge castle, right? It's Wapol's castle, which now Dr. Kureha is apparently residing in. And of course, he still has no idea that Kureha is down at the bottom of the mountain. He's got no idea what's going on, and who knows if she still is. That was hours ago that she was down there, or you presume is hours. I'm not sure. All I know is that he winds up going and just kind of collapsing right after he looks at the castle, and he's like, "Oh, we made it," And the whole time while he's going, he's like, "Doctor, doctor," and he's like, "Hang in there, Nami. We're gonna make it, doctor." And that's what I think is the really touching part of it, is that it's just him, unwilling to bend or to stop from going forward where his goal is. So he collapses, and then it goes down briefly. The chapter ends up shortly after that, but then it goes back down to Wapol and Chess and Kuro Marimo, and they have taken out, and you assume either killed or badly wounded, whatever, the Lapins. And Wapol's like, "Oh geez, they're finally taken out." And Kuro Marimo, I think, actually, he's like, "Well, I can't even believe they must be the strongest creatures in all of Drum Island." And and then Chess makes a comment about how he had to use his special moves, and so it's so these things came together and definitely slowed him down enough. And Wapol's like, "Yeah, whatever, it's these creatures are of no consequence." He's like, "Straw hats, I'll get you." And as he kind of says that, it goes and it looks up and it shows the last couple of panels, and Luffy had gotten up to the edge and climbed over the top, but it was kind of, it's a lot of snow embanked on the side of this cliff, and the snow embankment or piece of rock or what have you just started to kind of come apart from the cliff, and he kind of passed out. I mean, he just passed out from just sheer exhaustion, right? From carrying two people up the side of a mountain. And it starts to fall, and it's kind of cool because in the last panel, right as he's about to fall, all of a sudden, like, a hand reaches out and grabs him, or what appears to be a hand. And then in the last panel, we see, and it's kind of in the shadows, we see what looks like a large body of some sort of, I don't know, like a hairy human-esque type body. I mean, like not an abominable snowman, but like I don't know, like a, whatever the hell they call that, similar to the abominable snowman, but just Bigfoot, you know, I mean, just like this hairy. But the face, though, that's in the shadows, and the hat looks like Chopper, Tony Chopper, who we met a while ago. So there's certainly going to be something, hopefully, that's revealed that goes on with that, because unless he's got like some kind of reindeer-like humanish brother, then that's him, and he has made it up to the top, but he has some kind of ability that maybe allows him to transform or to morph or something. Maybe something similar to like Dalton, where he could turn into like the bull, you know, or the ox. But at any rate, we're going to find out in the next chapter. That's how things, you know, of course, were left for us. And my chapter question is, ultimately, like I said, this chapter for me was very much a, you know, Luffy and his determination. And I know I've asked some questions before about specific things about Luffy, but in particular, because he started out and very much seemed like a kind of ho-hum, directionally challenged, sort of not too bright character, I don't know if much of that has changed, but in your opinion, you know, are you seeing the growth and the progression? I mean, even when he went and he listened to Vivi and he actually went and backed off instead of attacking, and he humbled himself to go and, you know, and get down on his hands and knees basically and say, hey, listen, please just help us. Our navigator's sick. There was that just a few chapters ago, and now, of course, you know, just seeing what he did, and, you know, with Sanji, I mean, he could have, you know, tried to maybe put Sanji somewhere after he was out of harm's way and come back for him, so he'd only have to carry one or whatever. I mean, there was probably different ways he could have went about it, but he went about it just straightforward, punch him in the mouth style. And what do you think? Do you respect that? You know, or do you think that it was just sheer stupidity? Because clearly the odds of survival are probably low. So let me know what your answer is, though, to that question, even though it was a little bit longer than I had hoped. In the comments down below, brothers and sisters, feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button, if you think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching you in the next one, nation.
Remember, brothers and sisters, to share, subscribe, spread the word of the nation to others, and of course, if you like watching the videos, you know, watching them is always much appreciated. Have a nice day.